Hi everyone, Daniela Cambone here for ITM Trading. You know, I have had the privilege and the honor of doing a career I love for close to 20 years, and I have met thousands of the most insightful and intelligent people on the planet. There is just so much wisdom, lessons, and insights I have gained in terms of building an incredible portfolio and preserving your wealth. And we want to share those insights with you today. We have put together a free report that highlights some of the best knowledge I have acquired through all these years. You can get it today for free at DaniReport.com. Again, that's Danny, D-A-N-I, report.com. Don't miss out, get it now. Joining me today, Garrett Goggin. He is the newsletter writer behind Golden Portfolio. You may recognize him because he used to be with Stansberry and used to write Silver Stock Analyst, but now he has his own newsletter. Garrett, so good to be back with you. How are you?
Hey, Danny. Good. Nice to talk to you again. It's been a while.
We were talking offline how there seems to be this vibe, this tidal wave of positivity. So will that hurt precious metals in the long run or not? What's your take?
Yeah, so I'm keynoting the Deutsche Goldmesse conference tomorrow, and I had a presentation ready, and then Trump was elected, right? Everything changed. Gold and silver went down. Everyone expects Trump to, cut the deficit, and there's a lot of optimism regarding the economy, which is good. And I like Trump. My little son dressed up as Trump for Halloween. But let me tell you what Trump is doing. He's bringing back the American Great Awakening, and it's going to be the new golden age for America. And there's many things we can start with. But first of all, he's bringing back Senator Kennedy, right, to run the FDA. He is, revamping our food system.
Yeah, Robert Kennedy.
Robert Kennedy. The food system has been messed up since the 70s. There's a lot of sugar in it. There's been conspiracy theories about fluoride in the water. They bring in Robert Kennedy back. He eliminated fluoride in the water. He's looking at vaccines. He's going to the roots of our food system. And then, a lot of these things, if you look at pictures of people in the 70s and 80s and everyone's healthy, right, and skinny and happy, and now everyone's obese, it's like, why did that happen in the 70s and 80s? And it's tied to the monetary system. America got off the gold standard, in 1970. And then the new, Scott Bessent that they're going to bring in as Treasury Secretary, right? Worked with Soros for like 10 years, or actually his whole career. Scott Bessent, he's the forerunner for the Treasury Secretary. He believes Trump should have a policy, 3-hour policy, like Shinzo Abe did in Japan. It was 3-pronged. It meant keeping interest rates at basically very low, negative real rates, and then producing a tremendous amount of debt in order to drive the economy. And this is the guy that's going to be probably leading the Treasury Secretary. So, low rates, a tremendous amount of debt. The U.S. debt it's $37 trillion. It's been going up every single month for, over 50 years, and it's not going to change anytime soon. Another person that's involved, obviously, you got Elon Musk and Vivek, right? And with the Doji, the Department of Government Efficiency. And, they believe they're going to come in and cut all the fat, but they can't. They can't cut all the fat. They're going to try to. But the U.S. government the U.S. GDP consists of 50% of government spending. If they cut back government spending, our economy would go into a massive deflationary crash. So they're going to try to, but spending is going to continue. And lastly, Judy Shelton.
Yeah, of course. She's been on our show.
She's a favorite of Donald Trump. Donald Trump tried to get her on the Federal Reserve Board back in his last term, and he's going to try to do it again now. And Judy Shelton is one of the biggest gold bugs out there.
She is. Well, she just wrote a whole book on it.
Exactly. Yep. So, what this is America's Great Awakening. We're getting back to the truth. We're getting back to the truth of the food system. We're getting back to the truth of, government spending. But the one thing that the stone that they have to leave unturned is the monetary standard. because they can't get us necessarily back to a gold standard right away. Because that would cut government spending tremendously. The economy would go in a tailspin. So what they're going to do is keep on doing what they've been doing over the past 50 years is, keep on spending tremendous amounts of money to produce less and less amounts of GDP. But I tell you what, one thing that's coming down the pike that I've seen smoke signals across the European community is a GDP pegged to gold. The European community, if you look at the amount of gold that each country holds, it ranges from 3% to 8% of GDP. There's talk of bringing back a gold standard where you peg GDP to gold at 4%. You hold 4% GDP reserve, gold reserves in terms of GDP. U.S., if you value their 250 million ounces, it's about 2% of GDP. They would have to increase their gold reserves by double, or one of the things that's connected to all the Bitcoin stuff is they revalue gold higher. So this is the politically acceptable solution to be able to keep spending. They're going to keep spending. They're going to keep interest rates low, but we're going to peg GDP to gold. And they'll be able to work that's an economically feasible solution for all the politicians, because it lets them keep on spending.
Okay, so two things I want to go back on. Talk to me a little bit more about the correlation. You said when we got off the gold standard,
Yeah.
you feel there was a direct correlation to demise in society, health, etc. I want to know more as to why you think that.
Yeah, there's a website. I think it's What Happened in 1970, and it shows the amount of debt going through the roof. It shows the amount of money going through the roof. It shows, obesity going through the roof. It shows medical spending going through the roof. It shows our health standard, declining, and it shows the, birth rate going down. And why did this all happen around in the 70s? It's because America got off the gold standard, and then it became all about big business. Why does the government make the horrible nutritional choices that they make? Because they're getting paid off by big
Mm-hmm.
business, right? So and it's all tied to money, and it's about how we can make the most money possible. Citizens' health takes a back seat to that, and Trump is going to try to restore America to do the right thing for the American citizen.
Okay, and part two, because you hit on something there about, I feel how you're feeling optimistic about the new administration, obviously. But the key point that you're making is the economy is not going to be fixed overnight. And I think that's the perception that a lot of people have right now is, oh, miracles are going to happen in the economy.
Exactly. Two of the stats that I just saw today. Rejections of mortgage applications, the highest it's been ever. Rejections of auto loans, the highest it's been ever. The consumer's strapped out. They're taking car loans for 90 months so that they can afford the payment. You can't push any more debt, down the system. And then if you look at debt to GDP, every dollar of debt that's spent, it only produces 83 cents of GDP right now. And it used to be up above 2 and 3, but that declines. The amount of debt in the system produces less and less growth, but they're dependent upon that. The U.S. economy is dependent upon producing debt to generate growth. And then the last piece of the puzzle, MMT, Stephanie Kelton, right?
Mm-hmm.
She proposes that debt is good now because debt produces growth. And debt doesn't matter because the government is in control of the printing press, and inflation is not dependent upon the amount of debt. It's dependent upon an economy growing beyond its means. So both parties have embraced the MMT policy by Stephanie Kelton, and it gives
Mm-hmm.
them a way to spend a tremendous amount of money because it's good for the economy and debt doesn't matter.
Garrett, you wrote extensively on silver. I mean, you still do, but you cover a little bit of everything now. When the Green New Deal was introduced, the silver bugs were rejoicing. Oh, this is going to be great for silver. Now that there's talk that Trump might not want this Green New Deal anymore, what does that mean for silver?
I see silver as a derivative for gold. Gold goes higher, silver goes higher. Silver's been a store of value for 1,000 years, just like gold. It's obviously much cheaper than gold, trading at $30 an ounce versus gold at $2,600 an ounce. But the silver market has been in a supply deficit for over 5 years of 100 million ounces. All the world's silver mines only produce about 800 million ounces per year, and the amount of silver consumption has been higher than the 800 million ounces. It's been 900 mil, a billion ounces. It's being utilized in all of our devices, the laptop I'm talking on, the TVs, the EVs, and people love EVs. So maybe the Green New Deal might not go ahead, but people love their Teslas. When you look at Samsung developing a new silver battery that uses, a kilo, 32.15 ounces of silver in it, which is an astronomical amount. And then one of the world's biggest consumers of silver is the military, right? Because they don't care how much stuff costs. They use it for the wiring versus just the solder. There's ounces and ounces of silver in each Tomahawk missile that we have out there. And I was speaking to Keith Newmeyer a few years ago, and he's like,
Hmm.
we were talking about that. He's like, well, maybe I should go mine Afghanistan then.
But so are you? I remember you were part of the triple digit silver crew. Are you sticking to that?
Yeah, no doubt. you know, it's tied to the money supply. It's tied to economic growth. The debt's going to continue to increase. The government's going to continue spending lots of money, and we're at the tail end of that right now, where it's going to accelerate. People think it's going down. The debt spending is going to accelerate. They're going to have to accelerate it because in order to keep maintaining economic growth for the economy. And as the debt increases and as the money supply increases, gold and silver are going to go higher. And yeah, silver goes on massive tears, every few decades or so, and we have yet to see one here.
Hmm.
Silver's been marching up consistently, and it's been relatively stable, right? Day by day by day, and we haven't seen that big spike yet. Regarding investor sentiment, it's horrible right now. Everyone thinks the economy is going to be fixed. No one's interested in gold. Gold dipped a little bit, and everyone's freaking out like gold's over. It's like, no, government spending is going to continue. Gold's going to go higher. And if you look at GLD shares outstanding, it's way lower than what it was 5 years ago. It's way lower than what it was in 2011. That's a measure of investor sentiment. When they put money in, the shares outstanding goes up. So every time gold tops, the shares outstanding tops, and we're nowhere near that. And then another thing, if you look at the GLD market cap compared to the SPY market cap, two ETFs, equity ETF, gold ETF, the GLD market cap was greater than the S&P SPY market cap in 2011. It was greater, and now it's at like 5% of the SPY market cap. Like, there's no investor, a few investors are tuned in, but the average majority, they're not there. We're nowhere near a top. It's going to continue rising. They're going to keep spending debt, and we've got a long way to go. This is a multi-year gold and silver bull market.
One final point, because I know you cover. Or are you still covering Bitcoin, Garrett?
Yeah, I bought Bitcoin at $10 and I sold it at
Wow.
$200, right? And I was a genius for doing that, right? Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah. I just did the multi.
I
Yeah, I would have $500
yeah,
million right now. Yeah. But you know what?
right.
The World Economic Forum, they're like, in the end, you will own nothing and be happy. They want us to
Yeah.
live in virtual cities and a little apartment and rent our cars, call our
Yes.
Teslas up. And Bitcoin fits that agenda, right? It's a digital virtual asset. Gold, you hold it in your hand. And then with Bitcoin, when you bring it back into the monetary system, you're going right through a bank. You need a brokerage and a bank to convert your Bitcoin back into cash. It's going to go back into the financial system, create and turn back into dollars. But gold, when you buy gold, it's gone. It's out of the system. Like, it's not coming back. They're not tracking that. In Bitcoin, you can track every single transaction via IP address, that every computer and every laptop and every cell phone has, so, I see it fitting their agenda. And there's been talk of a Bitcoin standard.
Right.
right? The U.S. government and Trump. It was Howard Lutnick, the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, I think,
Well,
just got appointed today.
well,
Stuff changes so quickly.
well,
Yeah.
well, that's what I wanted to ask you is, what does gold look like in this new administration that appears to be quite favorable to the cryptocurrency world? I mean, just today we saw Trump media reportedly in talks to acquire backed crypto exchange. There's talk of a Bitcoin a reserve.
Yeah.
So how does gold live in this new ecosystem?
Do you know how they're going to create their Bitcoin reserve? Do you know how they're
Tell
going to
me.
pay for it? They're going to revalue gold on the Treasury's balance sheet to create an excess surplus and use that to set their
This is
Bitcoin
your
reserve.
thesis. This is
No,
what you think, or it's
I've
fact?
seen this. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's speculation, but I've seen it from a few, reputable sources that they're going to revalue gold. They're going to continue holding gold on their balance sheet, and they're going to use the excess reserves to fund their Bitcoin reserve. And then
Interesting.
if you talk to any banker, any central banker, any Federal Reserve banker, they all know gold is money. And after a couple beers, they would acknowledge that. But
I can attest to that. That is true.
yeah, but in public, they're never going to say it. Like U.S.
Correct.
They're going to hold on to their gold. And then China only owns 1% of their GDP in gold. China's been adding tons and tons, every single quarter to get their gold reserves up to that 4% of GDP. That is the acceptable level comparable to the European community. So
Yeah.
gold's not going anywhere anytime soon.
All right. There you go, folks. Great catching up with you, Garrett. Where can people find you? Where can they read more on your thoughts?
Yeah, I started the Golden Portfolio early this year, and that's my strength. I'm a financial analyst. I'm a CFA. Went to Babson, Boston Financial Community. 3 portfolios. One of them's up, 30% year to date. The other's up 50% year. And I have another one up 150% year to date. But go to my website, goldenportfolio.com. Sign up for my Secrets of a Mining Analyst Masterclass, and you'll be able to learn all about it.
There you go. Hey, Garrett, as a Patriots fan, how do you feel Tom Brady's doing in his new commentating role? Yay or nay?
To be honest with you, my twins and my older boy, we've been so busy with hockey and baseball. I got to watch my little boy's baseball game on my phone later tonight.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to watch much of it, and it's been good because I'd rather do that than watch the Bruins or the Patriots or even Tom Brady right now.
Definitely. Quality time with your kids.
Yeah.
Can't put a price on that.
Yeah.
Garrett, good luck at the conference, and we'll catch up with you soon, okay?
Good. Excellent.
Golden Portfolio, Garrett Goggin.
There it is.
And don't forget to sign up also at DanielaCambone.com to stay on top of all our content and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's it for us. We'll see you soon.